how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Praise God, 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 praise God. Dear Heavenly Father, we pray, Father, for you to inspire your thoughts, your ideas, your creativity, Father, here this evening. Protect these men and women, Father, who seek to do your bidding. We pray, disrupt and destroy the works of darkness for your name's sake. You are our shield and our rampart. Do not deliver these leaders to the will of their adversaries or false witnesses. Deliver them instead to places of honor and strength in history, and bless the work of their hands. In Jesus' name, amen.
Roll call.
Ambrose,
Here.
Button,
Here.
Kale,
Here.
Raymond,
Here.
Creighton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
And Raymond's zooming in with us tonight. Subsequent need items.
Mayor, there are no subsequent need items.
Approval of agenda as posted or amended.
Motion to approve the agenda as posted.
Second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Ambrose.
Kale,
Yes.
Button,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Creighton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. City Attorney report out of closed session.
Yes, City Council considered one item of initiation of litigation pursuant to the Government Code section listed on the agenda. Council received information and provided direction, and there's no reportable action.
Ceremonial matters. National Public Works Week, May 16th through the 22nd of 2021. So if I can have my Public Works guys come up here. We have a proclamation for you guys tonight. Do we have the microphone, Chief? You guys want to join me down here?
Yeah, absolutely. That's for the man.
So, I like the black shirts. I want one. I like that. Okay, while the council comes up here. So this is our public works staff right here. We have Justin and Ken and Matt. So each one of these guys, I don't remember it because these guys have moved up through the ranks through the years. I got to work with them a few years ago, actually a lot of years ago. I didn't get to work with Ken. But, and we have Greg Thompson behind me here, the Community Development Director, Public Works Director. But Justin Justin's a special individual because he came in at the bottom of the water department and has worked his way up to the acting deputy director of public works and community development, which is a big deal. So when people come to agencies for work, you always want to be able to promote up. You don't want to have to move around from town to town to try to find a good job. And this tells you that Atwater is a good place to come set your roots and to work your way up in a career, because there is opportunity here for you. And Justin is a great example of somebody that works and goes the extra mile, weekends, nights. I don't know what you've called me, all hours in the day and night. Hey, you know, there's a problem over here. There's something good happening over there. And that leads me over to Ken. He's our Streets and Parks Division supervisor. And Ken also came in, not at the top, but he worked his way up because Ken's kind of a do everything, fix everything kind of guy, and a great attitude that we all need in life. When you're looking for somebody to lead, you don't want a negative Nelly. You want a positive guy that says, hey, we can get it done. We don't have everything we need, but we can get it fixed. And I've heard you say that a few times, and you get it done. It's very impressive. And I respect the work you've done. I've gone back behind you and told our city manager, so it better look good when we get done, because our guys are doing it. It better look really good. And you always pass the test. And my hat's off to you. Thank you very much for that. Matt Del Real, our sewer division manager. So our collection system through our town, stormwater and sewer, it's a job that a lot of people don't recognize or know, but they keep the stuff flowing, and it's really important. And we have millions of gallons a day go through the city. And excuse me, can you please be quiet? Thank you. So there's a lot of good things that he does that go unrecognized with your crews. And thank you very much, because on the holidays is usually when everything breaks in the sewer division. So you see the lift station over by McDonald's and the one over by the hotel. So great job there. So with that, I'd like to also say that Greg Thompson, our Public Works Director, is doing a good job by leading these guys, each one of you guys leading your crew. Our safety's gone up, our improvement, our work productivity's gone up, and the citizens notice that, and we've gotten more complaints than we ever get, more compliments than complaints than we ever get. So very, very good job. So, okay, Chief, you want to? So today we're going to do this proclamation on behalf of the City Council and the City of Atwater, presented to Public Works. Whereas the Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and the public's health, high quality of life, and well-being as people of Atwater. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of Public Works professionals who are engineers, managers, employees at all levels, and also the private sector that you guys work with as we see our new water system being installed in town. So hand in hand we go together. Responsible for improving and building and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential to our citizens of Atwater. Whereas it is in the public's interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children of the City of Atwater to gain knowledge and to maintain ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works. Whereas in 2021 marks the 61st Annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now therefore, I, Paul Creighton, Mayor of the City of Atwater, do hereby designate the week of May 16th through the 22nd, 2021 as National Public Works Week in the City of Atwater, and I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. In witness hereof, I have hereunto set my hand and affixed the seal of the City of Atwater to this 24th day of May 2021. Director Thompson. Thank you. So before you guys tonight, I want them to all say something because we should know everybody in our community and who works for us. So I'll let Matt go first, and we'll go this way. Say a couple of words.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody here today for acknowledging Public Works because, you know, a lot of us do behind the scenes. You don't see it, but, you know, sometimes that's a good thing. The less you see of us, then, you know, things are working. So appreciate everything today. Thank you.
I'd like to say I thank all of you too for being patient with us. We got behind on a few things in my department, but we are striving forward, and everybody in that department is working real hard to catch up and trying to do this city a great job, make it look better than it ever has before. That's our goal.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and showing appreciation for us, but I would like to thank all the employees that we have at Public Works. They bust their butts every day, go above and beyond, and I just want to let them know that we all appreciate everything that they do.
I'll just dovetail it really quick off of what Justin said. Again, thank you to all the employees. Last June, the City of Atwater elected to merge the Public Works Division and the CDD Division. And the idea was to get the Public Works team and the engineering teams to work and integrate with each other and act seamlessly. And I could not have asked for a better team to make that happen. And I want to thank the public and the City Council and the City Manager's Office for the recognition. It's very, very nice. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Do you have any family members here? Any of you guys? No? Okay, you guys want to take it? All right, well, thank you guys very much, and great job. Okay, presentations. Monthly report by County District 3 Supervisor McDaniel. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm here to do my update. I was given strict orders to keep it very brief tonight. So I just want to say we're in preliminary discussions right now with a short-haul rail company that's coming into Castle. It's looking very good with a logistics company that works with them as well. A lot of it has to do with agriculture, and so it's going to coordinate not only rail, but air and everything else that goes along with it. So we're really excited about that. Let you know that we're in, also the sheriff is coordinating with CAL FIRE, and they're already working to come up with a plan. So folks, please don't be firing off illegal fireworks because we are definitely paying attention to it. And I believe he's also coordinating with the city police chiefs as well. So they're all ready. I know last night we actually had a little dog come up to our house because somebody was firing illegal fireworks, it was in the county area. But a little dog ended up showing up in ours, and it was when we finally made contact through Facebook, found the owner, they said it was because of the fireworks that kind of freaked them out. With that, there could be a little bit more, but I'll stop there. Are there any questions?
Council, you have any questions?
You keep the dog.
No, so what was funny, so let's finish the story. So actually they came by the next morning, we kept the dog overnight, and they came in the next morning to get it, and as soon as we let him out, he took off running again, and so I felt sorry for the owner. He had to chase him up and down the block. We were trying to corral him, but anyway, no, so the dog is home safe now.
Wonderful.
That's good.
Thank you very,
We didn't want to
much.
put the burden on the city to call the pound so that you guys would get charged for putting it into the county.
Well, at least you got the dog back to its owner.
We did, exactly.
Good job.
We have
Thank-
3 rescues ourselves, so we're pretty passionate about getting the dogs back to the owner.
Very good. Thank you, Supervisor McDaniel.
Thank you.
Consent calendar?
Background information has been provided on all matters listed under the consent calendar, and these items are considered to be routine. All items under the consent calendar are normally approved by one motion. If discussion is requested on any item, that item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate action.
Are there any items on the consent calendar council would like to pull or remove for discussion at this time? Ambrose?
Like to pull item number 4.
Okay. Any other items? Any other council? Direction?
A motion to approve consent calendar as amended.
I'll second.
Motion by Button, second by Kale.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Kale?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Button?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 4, the consent calendar. Adopt resolution number 3222-21, authorizing submittal of grant application to the United States Department of Justice of Community-Oriented Policing Services for funding under the 2021 COPS Hiring Program. Police Chief Salvador.
Councilman Ambrose, do you have a specific question that you'd like answered, or would you like a general presentation?
So pretty much what I asked City Manager Waterman earlier was just when was the last time this was presented to our council, and just to give a quick rundown of what we're actually applying for and how it would benefit the city.
No problem. The Cops Universal Hiring Grant Program's been around since Clinton's 100,000 cops in the mid-90s. It is funded in the current federal fiscal year. This application comes out at this time. It is a nationwide program. There's 200 grants given out nationwide. It is competitive. For the city of Atwater in this cycle, I'm looking to write a grant to attack the #1 community policing issue in the city, which is traffic accidents. I'm hoping to augment our police force by 2 officers. The federal funding pays $125,000 a year for the first 3 years for that officer. There is catches, though. Catch number 1 is you got to pay for year 4 all completely on your dime. And we have to declare the number of police officers that are funded in the current budget prior to the grant application, so we're not accused of supplanting. So this would augment the current staffing level, and we must ensure that we have that staffing level through the 4th year. Does that answer your question?
It does, but now it raises one more question. I want to turn this way. What happens if we can't afford that 4th year?
So if we can't fulfill the 4th year, then we would have to pay that funding back to the federal
Government.
funding. So, and to answer one of the other questions that you asked, was the last time the city had a grant, it was in the 2014-17 year, and that year we were awarded 2 positions, and we were fortunate enough to also receive the waiver of those positions. So it was fully funded for the 4 years at a total of $774,000. So we've had great success in it, but as Chief said, it is very competitive.
I have no other questions.
Council, any other questions? Direction?
Yes, I have one, Mayor.
Raymond, go ahead.
I just want to know if we have the projected funding to cover what we're looking for in the grant.
City Manager Waterman.
It is funded through this proposed budget that will be presenting to you this year, and obviously it'll be based on we have to pay the offset. They pay up to $125,000, so the difference between that and the salary and benefits would be up to the city, as well as the 4th year. So, but again, we do have officers that are budgeted through the public safety transaction use tax, so that's something to keep in mind.
Okay, thank you.
Any other council members? Direction?
A motion to approve the items presented.
Second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Ambrose.
Raymond,
Yes.
Button,
Yes.
Kale,
Good luck, Chief, yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Creighton,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. Reports and presentations from staff, waiving second reading and adopting an ordinance approving a zone change for property located at 1901 Avenue 1, Atwater, California, APN 005-410-003. Community Director Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and members of the council for your consideration of the waiving of the second reading of this ordinance. I just want to first thank Councilmember Ambrose for reaching out and having an opportunity to discuss this because of some concerns that were raised at the council meeting, the last council meeting on the 10th. I just want to reiterate to the council to make sure that there is some clarity on this. The council, by previous action, have already adopted the resolution for the general plan amendment to this property. So the environmental finding was made. The property has been redesignated in the general plan as commercial already. And the site plan for this has already been approved. The ordinance in front of you that was adopted that evening and what we're seeking the waiving of the second reading on is an ordinance to impose zoning on that particular property. So the way I'd like the council to kind of consider this is that with the land use already redesignated within the general plan, zoning provides the guidance and the structure that for the use of the property there forward. So it's not typical for a city to conduct a general plan amendment reassigning the zoning or the land use as commercial without zoning. Our municipal code does provide for guidance. If a situation like that occurs, it would be considered undesignated, and it would not impose the guidance that an ordinance on zoning would normally apply. So zoning is a good thing. Zoning is the protection that the city receives. Zoning is the guidance that the land would receive at that point. It's also the zoning is also the protection that the citizens would have. So it creates the structure under which the land use would move forward under. So if there, I know there was a certain amount of questions. I am available to answer any questions of Councilmember Ambrose or any of the other council on this.
Open up to the public this time. Any members of the public like to come forward on this item? Please come to the podium. What? This item number 6, sir. Please.
Yeah,
Do you know what we're talking about?
that,
Do you know what?
you're talking about zoning, right? Rezoning?
Not just
It said-
regular zoning for Avenue 1, the project.
Well, you guys rezone mine, so I guess I
Okay.
gotta get mine to you.
Okay. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? Seeing none, we don't have any speaker comments for this?
Mayor, we do not.
Okay, we'll close the public comment, bring it back to the council. Any comments from the council? Direction?
A motion to waive the second reading.
Motion to approve the item.
What that gentleman said.
Oh, go ahead, Councilman Ambrose.
Tie goes in the runner.
Well, we'll call that a motion by Raymond and
I'll
have a
second.
second by Ambrose.
Button,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Creighton,
Yes.
motion passes.
Item 7, presentation regarding city's downtown pedestrian improvement project. Community Development Director Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And members of the council for allowing staff to present to you tonight. This is I want to make sure that we're clear. The intent of staff is to give council a snapshot and a introduction into a template that we will be using to do increased or intensified outlook to the public with relationship to our CMAQ projects. So the state requires under the application for these types of funds that we do outreach to the public and that we inform them by way of noticing to the project areas. But as what we've been seeing and what we've been experiencing is you're introducing public improvements, sidewalks, curbs, gutters, things like that, into an area or areas of the city that have not had improvements in 100 years. So that fit is sometimes comes with a little bit of adjustment and or additional outreach. What we're hoping to do which would be a complement to the project, is to increase our level of outreach to the public, making sure that they're aware of what's going on. You know, if you don't mind flipping through some of the slides. One of the things that we want to do is we want to make sure that the public understands the goal of these CMAQ projects, which is to reduce congestion. We're literally increasing walkability in an area that does not have any sidewalk improvements in them, and therefore hopefully attaining that goal. You can go to the second slide. So we describe and define what CMAQ means, what the source of the funding is. Next one. We introduce the project areas to the public. So each of these project areas will have their own public outreach meeting. We hope to host them in the council chamber here. As you can see what we did for the TCP project with the easels that have specific areas of concern or that we want to address, we will have those available for the public and representatives of staff and our consultants to answer questions for the public. Next slide, please. What we have to do is we have to talk about curbs, sidewalks, and rights-of-way, what it is that we expect the public to understand by these outreach meetings. Next one. The other thing that we have, the two biggest concerns that we have on the part of the public is making them understand what's the difference between their private property and what is the domain of the public. So we want to be able to have very clear visual representations for the public so they can get their heads wrapped around on this. Next slide. We want to show an overview of some of these project areas that define, like literally on here, and it's not really easy to see here, but it will be for the public, the difference between those private property lines and those of the domain of the public. Next slide. Also want to introduce the differences in the different curb and gutter improvement types, what it means to be accessible. The planning and the design stage of this project is infinitely important, what the public outreach is. Next slide. And the project construction. This will include to the public in our introduction of the projects to them, what we like to call the point of no return. When it means that the project would be locked in, when they would have an opportunity to comment, what engagement with the city that they would need to do. We also have a really good visual representation of what it looks like to have these public improvements installed and the benefit of these areas post the project. It greatly increases public walkability, but it also enhances the curb appeal of a lot of these properties. So what we would do at the very essence of the meeting would be to describe to them and define and explain to them these rights of entry that we're seeking from the public and rights of construction and the difference whether they choose to participate or not. So again, what we're trying to do by this process, this was just a snapshot this evening for the council to make you aware that the staff, that your staff is ramping up our efforts to engage the public on these processes and these projects, which the City of Atwater has been extremely successful in. And we want to continue that success rate with the funding sources, with the Division of Highways through Caltrans, through our local regional transportation folks, and to make sure that we continue this with better integration of these projects into the city and with better outreach to the public.
Okay, Council, you have any questions at this time?
Is this presentation going to be put on our website so that they can take a look at it? And
Not only will be, that's a very good question, Councilmember Kale. Yes, it will be. And two, what we will have is hard copy handouts for the public when they attend. We are going to do mailers. We're going to do an introduction onto our website and to our social media page when these stakeholders will be, or when those meetings will be, and to what project areas they will be. And this material will have.
And the board easels like you got up there?
Yes, exactly. They'll be set up around the room with an opportunity to engage city staff and our consultants.
Great, thank you.
Councilor Raymond, you have any questions?
I do not.
Seeing none, which direction? I do want to make a quick comment before we get direction on this. How many millions of dollars have we worked on over the last 4 or 5 years with all the sidewalk projects around town and the safe route to schools? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on that people aren't aware of in some of these deeper areas. It's just really nice when you see these things come together. During the construction, it's very painful and it's not the most comfortable thing to live through if you're a resident there. But my hat's off to staff and the residents that are putting up with this for something better that benefits everybody. So
At least $4 million since I've been here, I believe.
yeah. So that's a lot of money coming into our little community, and the walkability for the kids at school. I see that that's gotten much better. There's some drainage issues that were fixed. So this is another positive thing that we're doing here and continue to do. So hats off to you guys. So council direction. Okay, okay. I did already. So thank you.
Very welcome.
Item 8, presentation regarding city's recreation and community events update. Administrative Assistant Corey Billions. Sir, please. We had public comment on that already. Okay, we'll open it. Did I not do that?
What?
Did I do that? Yeah, I do that. I didn't? Okay. We're gonna open up the public comment at this time on this project.
Okay, you're right about things, a lot of stuff people don't know about. All you talk about is good stuff. Frankly, can you put the first slide back up there, please?
Okay, my problem.
You can't? Huh? Oh, you can't put it up? Oh, why's that?
What's your comment?
I want to know about Drakely Avenue, and that's part of the plan. You guys planned, I've seen it months and months ago.
Okay,
And I want to know what plans you have for our home that you took from us. You sold, you rezoned it.
you're talking about Drakely Avenue?
Yeah,
Okay.
Drakely and Winton Way right there.
Thank you. You can sit down.
There ain't no, you don't have no plans for that? Are they in it or are they out of it?
We're not gonna
Hold on.
go back and
You know
forth.
you took our home, right? We know what you did.
Thank you. Greg, do you have any plans specific for the Drakely Avenue addresses he commented on?
Just that whatever's depicted in that project area, we will mail to the residents of that area, and we'll make sure they're informed.
Okay, thank you. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? Sure, nobody wants to come up? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment. Item 8, presentation regarding city's recreation and community events update. Administrative Assistant Corey Billings.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. Excited to be here once again to provide you an update of all of the things that we are doing in recreation and that we are looking forward to doing. As you are fully aware, lots of changes are coming in the state of California, and they directly reflect on what we can do as a recreation department. So we're excited to finally see some of these changes. But we really want to first start with where we've been. I mean, what have we done? Even during COVID, we have been able to accomplish so many wonderful things in our community. We want to thank the Atwater Youth Soccer. They actually were the first group to come together and were able to pull something off. Even in the middle of COVID, they were able to get their guidelines through and provide a soccer camp that happened. As you are fully aware, we've done porch parades and a lot of other events. Atwater Youth Baseball has had a very successful season. We're very excited about that. Something that I'm really excited about that we've helped out a little bit with, but really it's a partnership. Peggy Heller School participated in the academic pentathlon this year. Their 8th grade team placed first out of the entire county of Merced. So these are some extremely smart young individuals in our community who are participating and doing fun things. So, and then many of the 7th and 6th graders also placed individually in that program. So we're very excited about that. The Atwater Stingray program is going strong. They have lots of kids out in the pool. They are about midway through their season. As many of you know, we have hosted the COVID vaccine clinic at the community center. Being that we are unable to do a lot of things, this was one of the things that we were able to do in conjunction with the Office of Emergency Services. So we have kind of held the building open for them and allowed them to offer vaccines, the county and the Office of Emergency Services. And then another item that isn't on this slide that we're very excited about, another partnership that we did on Raponte Field. We will be getting a new sign and scoreboard up there. Thank you to the community of Atwater and Mr. Legg, who really chaired that funding and really came through to provide us a new scoreboard out there. And it is in, and we're waiting for the opportunity for it to go up. possibly within the week or so. So we're very excited about that. And again, that is the wonderful partnerships that we do with community members and their dedication and love for our community. I really put this slide on here because this was truly the first big event that kind of really happened with all of the youth in our community. This was actually a full baseball, softball, t-ball season, and it got 200 to 300 kids out in the park playing again in the official format. Whereas our soccer, they had to do camps this past year. This was our first official full sports program that, of course, we as the city don't sponsor the event, but again, we host the events. They're playing on our fields. They're utilizing our facilities, and it was just great to see the kids. I think most of our council members had an opportunity to go out onto the fields and see these kids playing and see the smiles on their face again. What you see up there are a few kids that hit their first or second home run this year. So it's a big deal for these kids to be hitting home runs, especially I believe the young man on the right, top right in the Angels uniform hit that on the big field. So that's a pretty impressive feat, and we're very proud to, again, have the Little League program and the Atwater Youth Baseball programs in our community for our children to participate in. So let's open. I mean, we've all heard the magic number, June 15th, and the governor's going to open everything. And what does that mean, though, June 15th? So we will look at what it means to the community and the things that we know we can do right now, and we can continue the rental of our outdoor space, veterans parks, sports fields, those activities. We're gearing up to hit our outdoor youth sports programs very heavily. Some of those are partnerships. Again, the Atwater Youth Soccer League is a partnership. They're looking forward to hosting a full season of soccer. And then the youth football, the youth basketball, and the youth volleyball are all things that are done in-house, and we're looking forward to finally being able to once again host those activities. And you notice that I'm using the word youth programs because what we don't know is our adult sports programs at the current time, and also looking forward to putting on our youth summer camps hopefully this summer. We're in a staffing process at this phase. We have had quite a few returning students who, what we did is we reached out to all those last year who wanted to participate but couldn't via COVID, gave them an opportunity to sign up, and now we're slowly starting to fill in the gaps of where we have room. So as long as we can get staffing, we're looking forward to youth camps in the month of July. So on March 3rd of 2021, the governor lost a lawsuit, or settled a lawsuit, for Let It Play California. So the youth sports programs of California sued the state of California and the governor's office very specifically and said, hey, our children need to be out on the field. And so on March 3rd of 21, they settled that lawsuit and allowed kids to go back on sports fields. There are a lot of provisions that they must meet. Thank goodness our county is positively moving in the right direction with our COVID numbers, so they are easing a lot of those restrictions. But again, we have to follow the guidelines that are written, not necessarily what are spoken. So we follow a lot of written guidelines. The one thing that we are missing, and I had mentioned it just a second ago, Let It Play California, there are no guidelines for adult sports. So at this point in time, if things were to stay the way they are written, adult sports are not permitted to be played under the current guidelines. June 15th, the magic date that everybody hears about, we hope that those ease up, but until we actually see something in writing, we will follow the current written guidelines. So I was asked, hey, make a plan. What do we want to do? Where do we want to go? So I would love just to, plan A would be if on June 15th, the governor's office says everything is free reign and you can do everything again. Plan A is we're going to roll out sports programs. We're going to roll out a lot of new programs, monthly arts and crafts activities in the community center. We're going to bring our senior social group back in. I mean, these are all, if everything runs perfect and the governor's office says you are free to go. Being smart and based on conversations with the League of California Cities and the recreation directors of the League of California Cities, We are all creating multiple plans because like I said before, until everything's in writing, we don't know what it's going to look like. So Plan A is everything opens up. Plan B, we slowly phase in programs. And again, our goal would be to slowly phase in the youth programs first, because under Blood of Play California, there's no guidelines for adult activities. So we will slowly phase in bringing back our youth sports programs and again, continue with our outdoor venue rentals. Happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
I'll open up to the public at this time. Any members of the public that come forward on this item, please come to the podium, state your name. Do we have any speaker cards on this item?
No, Mayor, we do not.
Okay, at this time I'll close public comment. Nobody wants to come up? Okay, I'll bring it back to the dais. I got a few questions. I'll start off. New items. I noticed at the bottom of the list, working back up. Can you bring the item back, please? The farm to table. Explain that.
So a lot of communities are moving to doing farm-to-table dinners. They're great ways to really support the local agriculture piece in our community, but yet allow the community to be involved with what we are here in our community. We are still a highly agriculture community. So the thought was putting on a farm-to-table dinner, which would then celebrate those farmers in our community and some of the crops that they grow.
So anybody in the community can go to this
We will
event?
sell, as long as we can have the event, the thought is we will sell tickets to the event and have a great evening.
Would that be similar to the one Merced puts on
We hope so.
downtown?
We hope
Okay.
so. And working with Director Thompson, we've kind of looked at the area near the Bloss house and seeing the historic value there as well.
Wow.
In that street there.
Very exciting. Indoor, outdoor rental venues. There's a lot of buzz about wanting to get back to doing that. Are you ready for?
So we have started the outdoor process because we know that outdoor, obviously there are a lot more freedoms there. So we do have some outdoor spaces and I am taking reservations on those currently. None of those reservations will actually occur until after the June 15th date. It just is the way they bring
And the indoor kitchen at Veterans Park's all cleaned up, ready to go, looking
It
pretty
is ready.
dapper.
It is very usable at this point in time. We've got a couple minor things to tweak in there, but very usable at this
Yeah, it
point.
looks really good. I was in there the other day just taking a look around. Arts and craft activities, seniors, kids, what's that on?
All of the above.
Okay.
This is an opportunity really to focus on those kids that are not, and people in our community who are not sports related people. We know that we have a lot of people who love sports, but we do have some that don't. So we're planning to do paint nights and we're planning to do craft days with kids. You know, and we can do seasonal, you know, and near Halloween time, we can do an activity for kids that would create something Halloween wise, or there's lots of opportunities there. The City of Merced does a lot of these events, and I think it's time for our community to step up and
I agree. I think the mental health for the youth and the seniors in our community being locked up for so long, it's time for, you know, get their hands on stuff and be social a little bit. So I'm really excited about those and a lot of positive comments about that. Council, you have any questions, comments?
What about if there's kids that have a hard time? I think we talked about this before. If they have a hard time paying for some of these programs, you know,
I'm glad you brought
what's
that
out?
up.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you brought that up because in next year's budget, I was asked to create a line item for scholarships. So we will. There are a lot of wonderful community members who like to contribute, and so we are actually going to create a scholarship fund based on the contributions we receive, and then we will designate a way that our community can step forward and say, I need a little assistance. We'll have a scholarship committee, and we will help those kids in our community so that they can participate in activities.
And say if somebody hears about this and they want to maybe either anonymously or something like that, should they just reach out to you if they want to maybe join that or maybe just give an X amount of money to help that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If they are interested in donating, that line item will be available if the council approves the budget on July 1st, and then we can go from there at helping receive the donations and making sure that it is administered appropriately. That's the key with the committee, is I want to make sure that all funds out of there are administered properly.
And the splash pad, do we know, is that going to be, is that plan A, plan B, or?
Again,
that-
if June 15th, the governor says open, my goal is turn the water on and
Okay.
let's have our
Now we're
kids
ready to go
play.
with the county health permit and all that stuff to make it go?
My understanding is that was taken care of a while
So-
back ago, and
So we're just waiting on the governor to green light it and you guys can roll?
we just want to play. We just want to have fun in our
Yeah, we do.
It's time.
Yeah. I just got a new swimsuit to get in the splash pad, so I'm just really looking forward to
We're excited. Please let
Okay.
me
You guys know that's for children, right?
Please let me know the day you're
Right.
going to be there, and I'll make sure I don't
Yeah.
come that day.
The parents can't take their children in, the small kids. And,
We asked that it be for. It really, a splash pad is geared for kids age 4 to 12.
right. But the kids that are timid that need some help or whatever, they can. Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't think there's anybody running around saying you can't be here. We want everybody to have fun. That's what our community's about: is celebrating everybody and everybody having fun.
I appreciate that. And just maybe just an idea, I had a suggestion, because everything's been so delayed, about maybe like, and I see fall, spring youth sports, but maybe like, and I know you're probably, you've been awesome about this, but like fall camps. I know that's a ways away, but
No, actually, fall camps would be being planned now, and
Okay.
they are in the back of my mind. The other key piece of the puzzle is if for some reason we can't run full seasons of things, we're looking at tournaments and things like that to get people playing. There's no reason we can't start doing those, especially the outdoor activities. And we've had several calls, just so you guys are aware, we've had several calls regarding the adult volleyball and their season that was cut short. I think you and I have talked about this
Yeah.
before. Their season that was cut short in 2019. So we'll be trying to figure out how to accommodate the adult volleyball as soon as the adult programs are open back up.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that the lights are on, people are playing sports, but then adults can't play sports. I don't know. Whoever makes some of these rules doesn't quite make sense. But I know it's not you. So, thank you.
I'll reserve my comment.
Kale?
I want to say thank you, Corey, for this plan. I was out at Little League and I went out there and watched them play last weekend, and it was so inspiring to watch those kids just go out and have fun. And so kudos to you on that. And I really want to see, really hope that the governor releases everything on the 15th, because I expect to be out there on that evening seeing Tyler run out under the water on the splash pad. Can you give us any information on the 4th of July parade? You have a porch parade here?
We do our porch parade, and I'm sure during public comment, we will.
Okay,
we'll get,
are you going to give us
4th of
some?
July
Okay,
committee
that's fine. I'll wait.
here to talk about that. So 4th of July is one of those unique partnerships again within
Yes.
our community, and there is an entire committee that works year round. I don't think a lot of people know that in our community, but they're a group of volunteers who work year round to bring us this event, and they have been planning, and I think they have some very exciting news for us for this year.
And they're always raising money to help, because they need a lot of money to get this program going. So yes,
absolutely.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Raymond, you have any questions?
No, my only comment is open up and let the kids play.
Okay, Ambrose?
First, thank you for bringing up volleyball. I have received a lot of calls about that as well. You have on here fundraisers. Let's see if I can kind of date myself here. You guys recall the days when local PDs used to play basketball against some of our local sports teams, the 49ers, the Raiders, and so forth. What's the possibility of some of our guys doing that for a fundraiser for our new signs or a new floor in the youth center or something? I'm pretty sure we got some athletic guys here.
I might be able to make something like that happen.
I think
Is that our police chief talking? That you got some?
I'd officiate the game.
Yeah.
I think our police chief and our fire chief, I can hear their heads rattling, telling me, yes, let's do something. So
I would officiate the game.
So I think Ambry's just volunteered to be on a committee that's not even created yet. So
Yeah.
as the chair of the committee, what else do you need?
Or Ambry's just volunteered to be on one of the teams.
I'll remind
trust me, you guys
council
don't
of the fire department's presentation with the video versus Chiefs. I mean, Chief, I think I hear.
Wait a minute.
I'm hearing a competition.
Wait a minute. I was following direction of my boss. I could have been up here for an hour.
Yeah, our youth definitely need something to do, but then our families in whole definitely need some type of entertainment. And if we have to just get our local guys, our fire and our PD, just for a basketball game or so, flag football, let's try to do something.
You know, that's a great point. And there are some outdoor venues as well. Behind the youth center, there's a full-out basketball
And we can
back there.
help support the 4th of July committee or something with one of those, kick it off with that to get some money in the pot.
Absolutely. There's, you know, one of the great pieces that a lot of us remember are the water ball tournaments that happened in Atwater. And unfortunately, with the water situation, it's kind of had to go by the wayside. But you're right. We've had a lot of great competitions in our community amongst both fire, PD, and the community. It's a great partnership. That's why I love my job, is we get to have great partnerships and have a great community who wants to have fun.
Exciting.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you. Comments from the public?
At this time, any person may comment on any item which is not on the agenda. You may state your name and address for the record, however, is not required. Action will not be taken on an item that is not on the agenda. If it requires action, it will be referred to staff and or placed on a future agenda. Please limit comments to a maximum of 3 minutes.
Okay. We have any members of the public like to come forward? Johnson's?
Mayor, I do have 3 emails as well as speaker cards.
Okay, I'll let the Johnsons go first.
I have speaker cards from them.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay.
And they're not the first ones that I've received.
That's okay.
Okay.
Lori Johnson. Ask me why I'm pissed. First of all, when the group was here and things got heated, why wasn't the preacher's daughter removed? After all, Rick just repeated one word several times. Sorry. There were much stronger words being yelled from the audience. And Brian, I could hear you clearly saying, remove Mr. Johnson. Why is that? A big deal was made when the preacher's daughter cried when we spoke. Plus, my video and audio were cut, and Rick's video was cut. Plus she sat through, okay, when we spoke, okay, she sat through all those hate speeches and didn't bat an eye. Is it because they are not a real threat? Obviously, Mr. Creighton is willing to work with them after attending one meeting. They aren't even the victims. I guess he isn't a true American because Americans do not negotiate with terrorists. I'm guessing another distraction. So your accomplice throws you under the bus and the death threats begin. So Rick and I are split about the reason why you wanted us out of the parking lot so badly. I think you were gonna have dinner at Applebee's. He thinks it's because all of the supporters that were coming by and supporting us. I also believe it's because the truth hurts. Well, how much of my pain are you going to take credit for? How many more people are going to come and say, Paul Creighton and 2 other people came to me and asked me to be the third-party buyer in your house years before it was sold? Exactly, what are you getting out of this? We all know about your dealings with the 2 construction properties where you went to the lenders to convince them to sell the note to a third party and then you profit off of it. When you were being so neighborly and let Rick climb up onto our roof and use your equipment to paint it, you had an ulterior motive. You had a meeting directly across the street from our house. Yes, our house. I don't care how you try to make it look. Everyone you ask that they know how Rick is and we never quit. So you had to go all the way to Visalia. Must have made an agreement to bring that shady company We Buy Houses into this community. But alas, you found someone. And then I see that many of you have been communicating with many of leaders, city and county leaders, have been communicating with James and Jeannie Breeze. She's been communicating behind my messenger as me, but she left some fingerprints on my phone, so she didn't delete everything. So that was her mistake for quite some time. She hacked into my phone. How would you like it if somebody hacked into your stuff and shared it with everybody?
Thank you.
They are the most scandalous people pretending to be our
Ms.
friends,
Johnson,
gathering
time's
info
expired.
to help you out.
Ms. Johnson, your time's expired.
Why doesn't someone ask why those?
Ms.
have-
Johnson, thank you. Thank you. Welcome, please state your name.
Richard Johnson, 1675 Drakely Avenue, our home of 18 years. I bought that 18 years ago, almost 19 years ago. $93,000 cash down of my hard work, my life's work, and I'll be damned if you're gonna take it from me. You threatened our lives. You had, this guy threatened our lives last Friday evening at Walmart parking lot after he had us removed. You know you did. I want to know the guy's name. I want the real name. You guys are covering up that police chase where the highway patrol was involved when I followed the guy and you pulled me over. You had the officers pull me over. Why would you pull me over? I pointed at the guy, the one that had the gun, and threatened our lives and put his hand out the window like he's going to shoot me. Why'd you have me pulled over? Salvador, I just want to ask you a question. My wife called after the guy was supposedly got arrested, right? How come you told her that on that phone call he was arrested on serious charges? 2 days later, we called back. I called you and asked for his name and information. You told me he's cited and released. Who does that? What kind of, there's way too much control in this city. You guys already stole my property. We're homeless, but let me tell you, I'm bringing that motorhome back. I am bringing that motorhome back, and I am here to stay. Yeah, we were scared for our lives that night. Let me tell you, my wife was scared to freaking death. And that should never fucking happen, ever. How the hell could that happen to anybody? We had to get out of town real fast. I'm so fucking mad right now. We had to leave town and make sure we left without being seen, tear the signs off our motorhome. You think you ain't got something coming? You think the FBI don't know about this? You think we didn't report for the past 7 years, every local state and federal agency? Trust me, I swear to God, we have, my wife, it's all documented. 3,200 pages to the DA. Your friendship with Kimberly Lewis, something's wrong with that. Why ain't she did something yet? You can threaten me again. Next time you tell the guy, just shoot me. Because you know what? I have nothing to lose, but you guys have everything to lose. I promise you that. Have a good night. Oh, just to let you know, we're coming back to that motorhome. We'll put signs all the way around.
Okay, do we have any other speakers? Let's do the speaker cards now.
Next, we have Gary Bryce.
Welcome. Been a long time since I've seen you, Gary.
Hard act to follow. Mr. Mayor, City Council, we got a holiday coming up, Memorial Day. And I just want to emphasize that it's not all about barbecues, hot dogs, hamburgers, the sales at all the stores. It's about 645,000 people, soldiers, men and women who've died to keep our country free. Due to the COVID infection, there will be no formal ceremony in Winton this year. However, the Ladies Auxiliary from Livingston and local veterans will be placing flags on our Veterans Cemetery headstones on the 29th, starting at 9 o'clock. I would also like to see the flags that are usually out in the city of Atwater flying again on Memorial Day. And if you happen to be around, drop by the cemetery. If you have some donuts, please drop them off. As eyes get hungry, we appreciate the city of Atwater. We appreciate the council. Been through a lot of them. Been here for 41 years. Hard to believe. Known you for 30.
Right.
We're going to get it done. May take a while. We're a little bit older, but we'll get her done. Thank you, City Council.
Thank you, Sergeant. Who do we have next?
Next, we have Tom Lake.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. I'm here tonight to representing the Atwater Winton Lions Club. As I put flyers on your, or I had Janelle put flyers up there. Service clubs are the backbone of the community. And as many of you know, the service clubs are getting smaller. They're starting to dwindle in size because of the ages of the members. What we've done this year, we have our installation, our new officer installation on the 15th of June. We're going to be holding it at Corbin Cash. They've offered to give us a venue and not charge us for it, so it's a pretty sweet deal. Alcoholic beverages will need to be bought through Corbin Cash because that's their business. So we're good with that. We will be having a raffle because this year we didn't get to hold our big fundraiser. So we're going to have a raffle. We'll have some items that would have been up for our charity roundup that we usually have at the community center. And we'll also have a dessert raffle, dessert auction. It is open to the community this year because we do want to invite the community and hopefully get them to see what value the service organizations have to the community itself. My name was mentioned earlier by Mr. Billings. Yes, the memorial at the Frank Raponte Memorial Field scoreboard is here. We tried to put it up this past weekend. However, because the Little League has so many of those youngsters running around, it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe. I talked to my contractor this afternoon. He's got some function this coming weekend, so he won't be able to do it this weekend, but the following weekend, he will be out here, and hopefully we get the same donations for the heavy equipment to get it put up. So hopefully by the first week of June, that will be up as well. And I am, Mr. Bryce, it's very nice to meet you, finally. Did you leave?
Yes.
Oh, but I am along with Councilman Kale, we're on a board, or a semi-board, I guess it is, for the Castle Veterans Organization, which we're trying to get the memorial building open back up. The Board of Supervisor McDaniel has been helping quite a bit with that, and we're just biting at the bit to march in the parade and to be a part of the 4th of July. So
Awesome.
With that, I'll close it up. Thank you.
Okay, and we can put this here at City Hall and let everybody know. You said June 7th was the deadline?
Oh, well, that's our RCP.
Okay. Okay, excellent.
Next, we have Theron Sanders.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. What I'm speaking about tonight is not the last City Council meeting, but the one prior to that. And that's the one accusing of our mayor and our City Council and persons like myself of being racist. Number one, that is not tolerated in our city and our community. We do not tolerate that. And all that we ask and require in our community concerning myself and everybody else, that we abide by our local rules and our local laws. Just like I have to, we would like everybody else to. So it would help benefit our community and help our community to grow. The last thing we are in the city of Atwater is a bunch of racists. We support our Latino Black, Asian, Anglo communities. We support the businesses. We want them open, and that's why we became a sanctuary city, to open all of our businesses and our houses of worship so everybody could be able to do it freely under the United States Constitution like we want to. And the people that are accusing our mayor and our city and our house of being this way, it's unacceptable. The behavior that was displayed at that prior meeting, it was completely despicable. Done in front of children, the swearing, the cussing and everything by adults that are supposed to be examples for our children, our youth, and our community. It was completely unacceptable. And I was very angry, and I'm still angry about it, but I can do it in a way that's civil, that makes sense, and drives a point that we need to come together, not as racists, but as American citizens. One nation under God, one human family. That's what we need to do so we can go forward and not only better our community, our city, but this nation. Thank you.
Thank you. Who do we have next?
Mayor, we don't have any more speaker cards. I just have 3 emails.
Okay, let's do the emails.
My name is Maria Velasco, and I have been a resident of Atwater for the last 20 years. The reason I am writing this letter is because of the recent and disgusting events that have occurred from a group of people who do not have any legitimate proof of the accusations they are making against Mr. Creighton. As you can realize, I am Hispanic and I have known Mr. Creighton for many years. During the time I have known him, never have, and I say this with capital letters, never have witnessed or experienced any type of racial comments or behavior from him. It is absolutely apparent to realize that these people who call themselves advocates have done absolutely nothing productive to improve the community. If you so-called advocates really want to make a difference in the community, how about you begin helping those who need a permit to have their business run legally? I can openly and publicly say that Mr. Creighton is a man with integrity and has proven to have a high level of ethics, and those who have done nothing but making false accusations should really begin to make something productive. It is proven with these actions that it is too easy to point fingers and judge people, but when time comes to make a change in the community and accept the fact in order to have legal rights, certain rules need to take place. These advocates rather point fingers without proof of evidence. It is very disappointing for me as a Hispanic to see how the actions of these advocates have stained the behaviors of Hispanics and other ethnic groups who have nothing but good things to say about Mr. Creighton. It is a shame to know this group of people decided to play the racial card on an issue that has nothing to do with ethnicity, but rather a simple process of having a legal business in the city. Thank you for the opportunity to express my opinion.
Thank you. Who do we have next?
This is from Jen Patanen. My name is Jamrat Jim Patanen. I'm writing this letter to express my disappointment regarding the false accusations Mr. Creighton has been a victim of. I have known Mr. Creighton for over 20 years, and I can openly say that he is not the person whom these people have publicly expressed he is. During the time I have known Mr. Creighton, I have learned that he is a humble and hardworking man who takes pride in his work and has a high level of integrity. I am not Caucasian. I am Asian descent. I am proud to say that I became a legal citizen of the United States a few years ago. When my citizenship ceremony took place, I had opportunity to invite 2 people, and I took the decision to take my wife and invite Mr. Creighton. By the time my ceremony took place, I already had known him for several years, and I wanted to share this special moment with him. Since he always supported me and my family, Mr. Creighton and his family have always welcomed my family to their home with open arms and never expressed any racial comments or behaviors to anyone. After my ceremony ended, I witnessed Mr. Creighton was extremely happy and proud to see about how proud he felt of all the people who were granted that opportunity, and how happy he was to have witnessed such an accomplishment. So as you can see, he is not the person whom these advocates are labeling him as. After observing how this issue has evolved, I don't have anything but great things to say about Mr. Creighton. It is sad for me to see how this society has become fixated on the racial aspect, when in reality what took place was a simple request for a legal permit to operate a business. It is only logical to understand that when you want to have a business, you need a legal permit, especially when you are dealing with food. I've seen these types of vendors on the street, and every time it comes to my mind the issue of not being able to have water to clean their foods and or their hands. And these vendors are actually handling money and consumable items at the same time. What is going to happen if there's a salmonella outbreak, or better yet, hepatitis? Perhaps this is something to think about. It does not take much to use the brain and think about the negative effects of the lack of sanitation can bring to different communities. That is why permits are important. My final works are for these so-called advocates. You need to stop being so reactive and be more proactive. This society does not need the types of behaviors. If you are in favor of protecting these vendors, help them attain their permits to operate legally. But it is evident that you might have a hidden agenda, and perhaps it is your group of people who are being the racists, not Mr. Creighton. It is just too easy to point a finger and rally people to make them believe something they have never witnessed. It is a shame that you as advocates continue to deliver the wrong message to society. What a disappointment it is to live in a society that prefers to move backwards rather than forward. Thank you, City Council, for the time and attention given to this letter. To whom it may concern, this is Jawanda Johnson. I feel that I must write a letter in support of the mayor of Atwater, Mr. Paul Creighton. Mr. Creighton has been the mayor of our city for a couple of years now. During that time, I have seen many wonderful things accomplished. He came into the determined neighborhood and held a great event to clean it up. I really appreciated that. He has worked with many businesses in town to help keep them open during COVID. It didn't matter who owned the business. I've seen Mr. Creighton attend many events in the community supporting our youth and their activities. I have seen him volunteer to work at events on weekends, again giving of his time. At no time in my interactions with Mr. Creighton have I ever seen him discriminate against anyone. He helps everyone. I know many people ask him for help all the time. These people talking about Mr. Creighton do not know him or have seen him at work in our community. I don't know how they can say those things. He is a good person. Bless his heart. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Jawanda Johnson, Atwater resident, District 3.
Thank you. Who do we have next? Anybody?
Mayor, I do not have any more speaker cards, nor do I have any emails.
Okay. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? Please come forward and state your name for the record.
My name's Maximilian Eddie Vargas. I own Big Dog Towing. I'm here on the matter of those people that's complaining against the mayor. Thank you, Council and Mayor, for giving me this moment to talk. I was here at the last meeting, and, you know, after I heard those people that were attacking our mayor, they claim that they represent the Hispanic. I represent also the Hispanic. I mean, I got my crew here, and I got many more that will come. We're going to be here as long as it takes. We love the mayor. He does a great job. We love this administration. Now, if they want to do something to help the Hispanic community, I would say bring something to the table that would help them, you know, not complaining and attacking the mayor. I would say this issue is about permits and license, so why don't they come to the table to set something up for the Hispanic to help them? I don't see where they're helping them. They're just over here attacking somebody that they don't know. I've watched them read out of the phone. It's not something that speaking from the heart, speaking from a phone or something that they have read or something. I'm speaking from the heart. I know him personally. He's a good man. I support him. I'm gonna be here as long as it takes. We love him. My crew's gonna keep coming. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Do we have any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? Welcome. Please state your name for the record.
Hello, Daniel Perez, 2383 Redwood Avenue. First off, thank you for setting up more chairs. About time, and then obviously it's filled up, so good job on that. And secondly, thank you for the, as a member of Victory Baptist Church, thank you for the law enforcement who came and the city staff. Please come more often because the pastor is extremely cheap, and apparently he bought out for you guys. And I've been a member since I was 2 years old, and I don't know what's going on. Pastor, if you're watching, shame on you. No, I'm joking. He's actually away on holiday for his 20th anniversary, so please be in prayer for him as he travels. and he does love his community and his law enforcement and the staff here. I just want to say to that, last Sunday, I think, is when we had Law Enforcement Sunday, and my pickup truck was stolen the night before, and that's why I was late. But APD and the local sheriff's department found it. Thank you for the hastiness. And you know what, Mayor, I wasn't going to talk about it, but I am now because people here are uplifting you as a good man. The mayor was there in attendance, and I told him, actually my pastor brought it up, and you said, what's going on? And I told him, and there was some damage to my side steps of my Ford F-250. And the mayor said, you know what, I got a pair of those I bought from my work truck, but it's not going to fit. And he says, you can have them. I said, no, Mr. Mayor, I don't want to take that from you. No, take it. Well, let me buy it. No, they're yours. They're yours. And even today, you called me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You are a great man, and the people here obviously stand for you, and the staff. Thank you so much for what you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Do we have any other members of the public like to come forward this time? Welcome. State your name for the record.
My name is Cindy Rose, and I'm here to support the mayor. I'm good friends with the mayor and his wife, and they're such good people, and I just want it to be known. And I think, he was just doing his job, so I think there are some people that try and cause division in the community and just try and blame it on a race, and I think that's the sad way to go, because, Paul has always tried to bring unity with everybody, and he's really taken a stand for the town of Atwater, and it's just sad that it's not being appreciated by every single person, and they don't see the attacks that come on him, but yet he's willing to give his all for this community. So just hopefully everybody will realize that. And that's it.
Thank you. Do we have any other members of the public like to come forward this time? Welcome. State your name for the record.
My name is Jim Davis, and I'd like to just come and give, to our mayor and council, I'd like to come and give our police department some kudos. I kind of hit them a little hard last time I was here, but I'm happy to see that we got a mayor that will do something. And I'm happy to see that our police department is doing something. For I haven't seen many or any people around town taking our local businesses' money. I haven't seen that person sitting on the sidewalk selling stuff. So I appreciate that. You're there, you're enforcing the laws. And I do believe very strongly that if you break the law, you should pay the consequences. And that's for any and everybody. And I just want to say kudos to our law enforcement, and we should think about it. These are the guys that voluntarily stand between the bad guys and you when the bullets fly. So this is why I do appreciate them, and I'm happy that they are doing the job.
Thank you. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? Welcome. State your name.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager, Robert Ayuso, Battalion Chief, Atwater City Fire Department. Just wanted to take an opportunity this evening. I know he's going to be probably upset with me, but behind me is Division Chief Mark Pimentel. For those of you that don't know in the community, Chief Pimentel was our battalion chief here in the city for about 5 years, and I personally know that he's a great leader. I'm not just saying this because he's my boss now. But I can tell you this, from the very start of my career, when I started as a paid call firefighter with Merced County, Chief Pimentel was an engineer, and he was my mentor. He actually got me where I'm at. Through my career, I've leaned on him a lot as a supervisor, a friend. Really happy to have him. Just wanted to take a minute to let everybody know that he did get that position and started last week, and it happened pretty quick, and we're really stoked to have him. So,
Well, have him come say something real quick. You got 2 minutes.
council members. Honestly, it's an honor to be back here. I got some time to work with Mayor previously and Lori as well. It was an honor to work with you guys, and I'm looking really forward to getting back here. Being that went to high school here in Atwater and had to go venture off and throughout the state and work with CAL FIRE, and then I got the opportunity to come back to Atwater. I spent 4 years learning Atwater and getting really engulfed in what was going on here, and then I kind of ventured out to gain some more experience, and then I was successful to come in behind Chief Ron. So just again, I look forward, and I'm excited about the future and helping Chief Ayuso move forward with the city of Atwater. So thank you guys again. It's great to see you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? Welcome. State your name for the record. Everybody knows who you are anyway.
Do I really need to state my name? Thank you so much. Jim Price, and I'm here tonight in the capacity of chairman for the 4th of July committee. Hopefully I can cram everything into, the short time that I have, but I want to let the public know that we are on board for our 4th of July this year. It's been, as you can imagine, a real chore to try and plan and implement this event. We've, as I've said, in a couple of other places, that cramming 2 months of planning out of a 12-month planning process is very difficult. And probably one of the most difficult parts of that is to get the funding for this. For some people, they don't realize this is a privately funded event. We don't do government funding, although we do get government support in certain ways. And I want to thank, in particular, Darren, you folks over in the county. You've always stepped up each year, and we truly appreciate that. I know that Chief Salvador is having nightmares right now because his staffing levels are at such that we have a lot of challenges for Atwater PD. In the past, we've had a volunteer force, and we've had cadet program, and we don't have the luxury of those this year. So parking, traffic control, these sort of things are going to be a very, very big challenge. Insofar as the day's event, tomorrow night we're going to definitely decide as to the status for the parade. And just to correct you, Paul, I heard you over the weekend say that there was going to be a parade, and it's in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce, we'd love to have them come on board as a labor force, but they're not part of our process for planning. But we've had some spirited discussion, as I've said, amongst ourselves to either put on or not put on the parade. As of this last Friday, the government in Sacramento released that June 15th, we are going to have no more restrictions. And that meant masks, no social distancing, none of those things that are concerns throughout this virus. So that tells me that we're going to be able to go ahead and forge on with the parade. I just don't see 4th of July here without having that parade. So we're going to, have that discussion tomorrow night, and Chief, you'll be informed either tomorrow night by text. I knew it was too short. Can I continue, Paul? In any case, we'll let you know tomorrow night by text or early on Wednesday. The day's events, should we have the parade, will also include the vendors at the park, as we've normally done. However, they're going to be spread out. We planned this. Mike Mendez, part of our committee, put out a very good map of how to go and put everybody in a kind of a spaced out configuration. So that's one of the changes that you will see this year. We also will have the 3rd of July event, and the 3rd of July, for those that haven't attended it, it's out in Ralston Park, and that 3rd of July event is kind of a party before the party, so to speak. And if you were there last year, I know, John, you were there last year, And we have our Corbin Cash Spirit frozen margaritas and beer garden. And at last year, people really liked that, and Corbin Cash has been a huge sponsor for this event, and we had no less than maybe 30, 40 people in line at any given time. So it was a huge success. This year, with the permission of the chief, we're going to add an hour and go from 6 o'clock till 10 o'clock. Normally it's 7 to 10. We're going to go 6 till 10 and put 4 hours in the books this year to hopefully generate a little more revenue. We're also going to have live entertainment provided by Troublesome. They're a local band. If you've never seen Troublesome, they are extremely well.
If I interrupt real quick, why don't we plan on doing this? Put you on the next council meeting as a presentation, because we don't know whether this is a go or not. So after you guys meet tomorrow, then come back the first meeting in June, and then I'll give you all the time in the world to lay it all out and kind of explain what's going on in the events if we're going to have it.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
But if it doesn't come, I don't know how things will turn out for you.
Yeah, well, they'll be fine. Just real quick, I can wrap this up real quick. The gates out of Castle will open in and around 5:30. We're working with Blaker out there. They're doing a VIP pass, so if you frequent Blaker, go and talk to Tom, the manager over there, and do that. Then we are going to have entertainment that evening provided by Rob Tracy and the Rob Tracy Band, local folks here. You'll love them, and we're going to take that up to around 9:30, and then fireworks. Our fireworks, in the effort of saving money, will be in the neighborhood of 20-25-minute program. So
Very good.
lots going on. Come out and volunteer. Give us a hand. It's going to be a big event, and we deserve it.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? Already came forward once. Can't do it again.
Okay, I just wanted to present something to you, Mr. Mayor. I remember me and you talking about doing something for the city, and that one thing was making Atwater great again. So if you mind if I approach the bench, I'd like to present you with something that me and my group came up with. Represents us and what we want to do, and that's make Atwater great again.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. You're a good man. All right. Okay, and no other members of the public that come forward at this time? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment and bring it back to council matters. Councilman Button?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, I don't think I need to speak much on 4th of July and how important it is for Atwater. I mean, I think that was a great presentation. It was definitely nice to hear. And I personally really appreciate everything that goes into that. I know you guys have probably been working on it since last 4th of July or even before that. So I was just talking to some people about it actually a couple days ago, and we were just, Atwater, the 4th of July and Atwater are they almost just kind of go together. If you've lived in this area, they almost just go hand in hand. So, yeah, really just anybody that's been a part of it, Jim, anybody, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Public Works, there was some stuff that was done at Veterans Park, and they got it done so fast. And I won't go into detail, but there was a situation out there, and we're trying to get things, Veterans Parks opened up again, and the city staff got on it quick, and it's just been, it was really nice to see that. Graffiti, our graffiti unit has still been doing a great job. If you want to do graffiti in this town, we're coming for you. So I appreciate our graffiti unit. You guys are doing a good job. I'm sure your ratio of employees to square miles or whatever is probably not great, but you're doing a good job. And then just want to honor in honor of Memorial Day coming up. The veterans out there and the presentation from the gentleman that came. That's a great event. Hopefully you guys can make it out there, and that's pretty much it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Councilman Raymond.
All right, real quick, a couple things. I'd like to commend our code enforcement officer, Daniel Garcia, for his work in going out to the homeless encampments and ensuring those folks get the COVID vaccine. He's going out in the trenches and really helping those folks out, and they need it. Next, I would like to welcome Mark Pimentel back. He promised me he'd never leave, but he did. But he's back now, so I'm okay with it. And then remember, as Mr. Button said, Memorial Day is coming up. Remember, all those who served and gave the ultimate sacrifice. And then on a more personal note, as most of you know, I had reconstructive back surgery a few months ago, and I'm still on the mend, which is why I'm not there in person. But there's been a guy who has been there day one by my side and never fails to reach out, weekly, bi-weekly, and has offered to do so much on a personal level. Even though he's a Raiders fan, I don't hold it against him. But that's Chief Bobby Ayuso. What he's done for me and my family is above and beyond, and I thank you more than you know. And that's it, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Raymond. Councilman Kale?
Well, Memorial Day, I want to I appreciate Mr. Bryce coming up and talking about that. It's a very important time of the year for a lot of us veterans. And Old Town Atwater is planning on going out and planting flags. And then we're going to try to get the flags out of the Memorial Building and put those out on the street also for downtown. So I appreciate that. Public Works, you guys did a great job and continually do a great job. It's not as fast as we want sometimes, but then it never is when you've got 50,000 complaints and only a short amount of people that can do it. So I appreciate that. Shoot, my other night, graduations are coming up. Congratulations to all the 2021 high school graduates from Atwater High School and Buhat Colony, and all the middle schools who are going to be going to high school. Congratulations to you guys, and congratulations even more on going to full-time school. That's going to be really great next in this year. For those questions, those water tanks that are out in the city are all associated with the TPC project. Get online and you can read it on our website about that, because Mr. Ambrose and I had a discussion about how we get asked that a number of different times. And then the last thing I want to cover is Mr. Davis got up and said thank you to the police officers. Last Sunday we had a celebration of police officers at the Victory Baptist Church, and that was neat. And we celebrated one of our very own, Officer Rivera, who is our new motorcycle officer. And he just recently graduated #1 in his class, And right after he graduated, my wife and I were going down Bellevue, and he came out of no place and pulled over a speeder. Thank you very much, Officer Rivera, because honestly, I'm getting tired of speeders too. Because one of the things I always worry about is somebody going, there goes Councilman Kale speeding. Look at him. And so I always try to keep my speeding, and it's hard sitting in front of my house on 6th and 7th Street, especially in the mornings when they're going to work. I bet Officer Rivera could get tickets like that. So congratulations, Officer Rivera. He's doing a great job, and so is the Atwater Police Department. They're doing a great job. Thank you, guys.
Councilman Avery.
First, I want to thank Victory Baptist Church for the invite. It was a wonderful event, so much where you guys might even see the Embodies family show up every once in a while. The wife loved it so much. May has been one of those months that we just appreciate everyone. So last time we definitely talked about our PD, and then I brought up teachers. This evening we're appreciated our public works. That's one group of people there who are always hands-on, and sometimes they are in crappy situations, quite literally. A lot of our residents don't tend to think about them until something goes wrong and their toilet doesn't flush or the water's not running. But know that you guys are appreciated for your hard work. And then the same goes with our classified employees over at our school districts, from the custodians to the instructional assistants, the office people. They, in my opinion, not just because I am a classified employee, but they are the true backbones to our schools. They are the first people that our parents see, that the community sees. So when you guys are out to the graduations this year, make sure to say thank you guys to our custodians who are out there making sure that those grounds are nice and clean, the parking lot's clean, the school's safe for your students to attend. And the same with the office staff, or, for that polite phone call that you're angry because something didn't go your way, or you're just in a bad mood and you needed someone to talk to. Thank them for, lending that ear. For our staff, continue the good work. Wonderful presentations today. I wasn't joking about the fire and PD game. I would definitely love to see it. I know we have a lot of families that were willing to come out and do it. Apparently we have a big 4th of July event. Why not? Let's make it happen. Isn't there a basketball court right there at that park? Yeah, see, there we go. No excuses, gentlemen. Lastly, since I also at the last meeting said happy birthday to my little boy, I want to say happy belated birthday to my daughter who just turned 13. So happy birthday, Kaylee, and that is all, Mayor.
Very good. Happy birthday, Kaylee. Real quick, also thank you, Victory Baptist Church, for the police officer service. That was beautiful to be part of that. That was my first year. It's 3 years in the making. I think Supervisor McDaniel made it there also. We sat next to each other. It was a very emotional service, very good. You guys do put your lives on the line for us every day, and it's a big deal what you do, men and women in law enforcement. Highway Patrol, Sheriff, City, all under one roof. It was beautiful. And I can't thank you guys enough. So also, Castle Air Force Base, the Open Cockpit Museum is this weekend coming up, Monday. So make sure you make it out there for that. It will be fully open, so there'll be food vendors and some stuff that's off the hook pretty good if you're a foodie. Also, a big thank you, as Gary Bryce said, about our military. We have a lot of kids here from our community serving all over the world and here in the United States. So my son Garrett's got a couple of friends, one in Korea. Donovan, I know you don't hear this, but thank you for your service. He's doing a great job over there. And all the other kids that we didn't mention, thank you guys, and men and women of the military, for everything you're doing. This is your weekend for all those that gave the ultimate price, and we respect that. The service clubs of Atwater, everybody tonight got a little piece of what Atwater's about. The service clubs are what keeps us together. The Lions Club, the Rotary, the Kiwanis, I'm gonna forget some, so the new Veterans Club that's gonna open up, Castle Veterans, I'm sure I missed a bunch, 4-H FFA, so we love those clubs and we support them, and that's what makes our community unique, is that we have a lot of those clubs. The Ebony Socialites are celebrating 80 years here in Atwater. So I think the celebration is this January? Yeah. So we're gonna do something special, but I think we need to hear, they're gonna celebrate all year long, so I wanted to get the word out. We were over at the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and she whispered in my ear that was going on. I thought that was beautiful, so a lot of good things happen in Atwater, I'll tell you. And also just want to thank everybody for their support tonight. So, meeting adjourned.